Course I'm live. Welcome to the stream. Aha. The avatar has returned. I don't know where he is, though. He's somewhere out in the world, having fun. But anyways, today, I am here. I am back in front of my monitor, in front of the people, the good people of America, and wherever you're tuning in from, to play Mario Kart and talk about political things. Because that's fun for me. My mouse got caught on something, it seemed like. Refresh here. Yep, okay, that looks good. That's not what I meant to do. That looks good. Alright. Cool. Press A to continue. Please insert 1 coin to continue. I did the fucking thing again, where I went live early, even though I wanted to get better about just, like, sticking to the schedule and only going live at, like, 1:30. Oh, well. I figured there's a good opportunity to, like, hang out a little bit before we properly get started. There we go, that's me. I think I will take inventory of what all I wanted to talk about on stream with people. That one, that's all right. That's been there. This one was a little while ago, but that's a thing. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me add something to this. There we go. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Very good, very good. Nice. So, I'm gonna... Yeah, actually, I want to check to see... Let's see, dogs. Which stats? I could, where could I put this? I could put it there, I could put it here. I'll put it there. Okay. Let me do that, so then I can actually have the viewer count on OBS itself. It's not a great viewer count, not a great reflection of how many people are actually watching, but as far as I know, it just kind of lags behind a little bit. It will reflect the actual number that's displayed on Twitch. But now that it's actually a couple minutes closer to the actual time I said that I would get going, I'm gonna get going. Yeah. That'll be good. Hopefully there are people online. It would be real nice if there were people online right as we got going here so that I could have some good worldwide races. Look at that. That's me. Back when I had more facial hair. Before I really cared about shaving. Searching for opponents. It looks like there's probably not going to be anybody online in custom tracks just yet. Oh god, that was the worst kind of yawn. I couldn't tell if it was going to be a yawn or a sneeze. Anyways, let me try to find a regular worldwide. So I will play as Dragonite, also known as Dry Bowser, but, you know. Actually, let me just... Yeah. I figured maybe it would just be better if I had, like... Oh, manual. Ah! Okay. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So I have the Twitch page itself in the top left corner, and then the text document of stuff that I wanted to talk about. Oh, dude, Obama's back. Let's go. In the bottom left corner, and then in the right half, I have the OBS window, so I can see what all is going on in my chat and how the stream is working out. Very nice. Very good for me. We got some people driving on Mushroom Gorge here. Oh, we got a Sneakster player? That's hype. I don't usually see people on the Sneakster. Okay. Whew. For a second I was worried that they fell off. But while we're waiting here, maybe I'll get into some stuff. First off, being the least recent thing, I think, on the list. At least in terms of what I have been hearing about, watching, reading about, that sort of thing, is more of Dennis Prager. Now, the last time I talked about him, it was actually I've talked about him a couple times on stream. The first time was when he did a podcast and revealed to the world that he, in fact, hates 5th graders because he claims they add nothing of value to the world by being here. So, you know, that's kind of yikesy, kind of cringe, kind of not good belief, inaccurate, incorrect. I'm sure those, you know, the parents of a 5th grader probably love their kid. And then the second time that I talked about him on stream was in the context of a debate review between him and Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, where that might actually be one of Cenk's better performances in a debate that I've seen him participate in. Dennis Prager took the sort of religious zealotry side of that debate, the sort of anti-secular position there, and also the anti-Palestinian position in that debate. Needless to say, he was wrong on every point he made. But more recently, Dennis Prager has been posting his L's about that debate. He's been feeling salty. Sometimes you feel salty when you lose. Like I said, that's okay. But what is not okay is what Dennis Prager said as a result of having lost that debate. He went on his podcast and attempted to provide his arguments in a vacuum where they, of course, could not be refuted in real time, because the people he has on his show are yes men, you know. Feeling a little bit mean today. Let's do Rainbow Road. He said that if it were not for religion, there would be no argument against incest. He is, in fact, this stupid, but I don't know if he is making this argument from a place of stupidity. It might be, you know, part of the grift. So basically, the logical interpretation of that is that if he did not have the Hebrew Bible or whatever book he reads. Hello, Coco Bandera. The logical interpretation of what Dennis Prager argued recently is that if he did not have his religious book, whatever religious text he reads, oh, you got to 5,000? Nice. I assume that's like, you said that's you're at like 4,000 something, and so now you're at 5,000. It's very nice. But 4,200. Oh wow, that's cool. 800 VR improvement. But yeah, Dennis Prager, in saying that there is no secular argument against incest, which is not true, um, is actually saying that if you take away his religious book, then he has no argument against incest. So basically, the whatever religious text he reads is the only thing stopping him from committing incest, which is you know, not an L that anybody should be okay with posting. Oh, what? I got a blooper. I'm gonna get messed up. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll get 6th or... Well then. Yeah, kind of gross, kind of cringe, kind of disgusting. And I, like... The claim from Dennis Prager was so outlandish that I actually had to review, like... Yeah, I actually had to review my anthropological knowledge bank and, like, take to Google to be like, now, of course that's not correct. Like, where did he get this from? Like, there are very obviously secular arguments for incest, and of course it's, you know, because of the social context in which it happens, it's a very mentally unhealthy road to go down. It is more often than not, like, almost always an abusive thing, and it, you know, basically every mental health and socially bad consequence in the book can be a result, can result from incest. It never does anything good. And that is the secular argument for it. That is why the cultural taboo against incest is universal. There's not a single country in the world, not a single culture in the world that does not have an incest taboo. That is not the product of religion. That comes before religion. Because I assure you, every country and culture in the world does not have the same religion. Also, what's going on with this room? It's not loading. Nope. We got one more person. So, you know, he was so butthurt from losing the debate, I guess, that he went and tried to offer what I think he thought was like a nuke and like undisputable moral argument. Oh, someone's lagging out? That's fine. I'll just wait here for a minute. But he ended up just digging himself deeper into the hole that he was already in. Yeah, very, very icky and weird stuff coming from everybody's favorite man, known for saying, I am a Jew, but I want this country to be Christian because I'm a Jew, or something. I don't know. This guy's brain is like a very confusing bowl of alphabet soup. There we go. I recognize some of these people. Kikri, I think, one of them. Yeah, alphabet soup, but every letter is made from crack. It's true. It you know, very unpleasant place, that guy's head, I imagine. Let's see here, where are we gonna go? Celestial Ruins, that's right. But that's actually kind of inconsequential, because I think you know, the silver lining here is I don't think anybody with a reasonable brain, which granted that's still like 20 to 30% of the population does not have a reasonable brain. Any reasonable person, I don't think, takes Dennis Prager seriously. You know? So it's at least good that he's not terribly relevant anymore. You know, PragerU used to be a really big thing. You know, you look at some of their most viewed videos, and they, you know, they got hella views, hella engagement, but they've really fallen off in the past year, I think. You know, their new videos have like adopted this weird, different format. They don't get very many views anymore. Their Twitter account gets ratioed to hell and back like every single time that they post something. You know. But there is actually more relevant stuff. Yeah, some people. There are, unfortunately, there is a minority section of the population whose screws are so loose that they'll just believe that. And now I better win because this is my island. Apart from that, we get to the more, I don't know, niche kind of politics that I engaged in, and by niche I mean like academic studies. I read a study yesterday about workers' cooperatives, and to skip the boring parts. Generally, what the study was saying is that, you know, worker co-ops being businesses where workers are also the owners of the business, as well as decision makers in the business, tend to be slightly more efficient than traditional firms where like there's just unelected bosses and managers and stuff. Because at least this is what the study was guessing at. The participation and the direct connection between profits and employee wages motivated people to work and be more productive, so that they could get greater profits and thus get paid more. Because currently, in the juxtaposition being in regular like firms, you could make record profits year after year after year, and the employees might not even see so much as a dime of that. So, I guess it stands to reason that when you do see that money, you'd be more motivated to work, which is cool. But not only are they slightly more productive or efficient in terms of productivity, I think is the terminology they use. The boss makes $1, I make a dime. Not even that. In America, it's like the boss has to make $30, and then you make a dime. But yeah, generally that message holds. Whereas in co-ops, every dollar that the company sees, you're gonna get part of that dollar. So is everybody else. So if there's 10,000 employees and the company makes like $100 million, everybody's probably gonna see about an equal percentage of that. Okay, what's 10,000 into 100 million? 10,000 times 1,000 is 10 million. Okay, so yeah, 10,000 squared is 100 million. So if a cooperative employs 10,000 people and makes $100 million in profit in a year, very likely each employee is going to see 10,000 of that or thereabouts. Maybe some will see 7,000 or 12,000 or something. There's still a little bit of inequality in firms like that, but it's a much more direct connection between like we as the company make more money and I as a part of the company am earning more money. And since the workers also vote in a cooperative on business decisions, on salaries and stuff, they're also much more stable than traditional firms, because when an economic recession hits, they are less likely to fire a worker. In some cases, because it's literally against the rules to fire somebody who's a member of the cooperative, and they're much more likely to make everybody's pay just a little bit lower. And then when circumstances get better, everybody's pay gets a bit higher again. So basically, cooperatives are good because they reduce the amount of inequality in the workplace. Damn it. Yeah, it was actually, reading the study, I was actually pretty impressed with the scope of it, because a lot of economic studies aren't terribly long term, and they're not terribly expansive either. But this cooperative looked at firms from 4 different countries at least, over anywhere from 10 to 30 years. So, which was a pretty significant base and time frame for the research. So I think the conclusions in this one are pretty strong as far as, like, is the data any good? But that's the boring part, you know? Talking about studies isn't the most interesting part of politics. What is more interesting is spectacle. And spectacle indeed there was. If you saw the uh, political, like, activist side of Twitter lately, because some I assume they are either students or, like, no, yeah, they would have to be like the age where they'd be in high school or college. They look way too young to be, like, adult protesters. With the group Just Stop Oil threw soup at the at a Van Gogh painting of some sunflowers. That was a big thing in the online conversation, and they did it to protest against oil licenses that the British government was giving to, like, oil drilling in the North Sea. But them throwing the soup was not the protest. Now, the interesting thing is that every media outlet that, like, just showed an abbreviated clip cut out the part where they actually did the protest. They only kept the part where they threw the soup at the painting. By the way, the painting is fine. It was behind a glass panel. No harm done. And glued themselves to the wall to emphasize, like, wow, these people are crazy. But they left out the part where they actually make an argument. And the argument they make, or rather some media outlets left this part out, others didn't. They said, what is worth more, art or life? What is worth more? This Van Gogh painting or the fate of planet Earth and all of us on it? And now the argument there is not you can only have one or the other. The argument is, why do you get upset at us, like, mildly tarnishing this painting, but you're not getting upset at the world being destroyed? Why does the institutional hammer come down on us after we threw soup on a famous painting, but not after we've, like, endangered dozens of species and, like, irreparably damaged the climate from oil drilling? You know? And of course, you could say, like, with something that spectacular, you could say, oh, it's kind of cringe or whatever. I mean, yeah, true. But at the end of the day, I think it's a matter of, like, who really cares, because when you're dealing with an issue as pervasive and as widespread and stuff as climate change is, there's basically no length that you should really condemn that heavily, unless it's, like, actively harmful to everybody, right? Even if like it wasn't, like, especially effective, which I think it was, because the point is to draw attention to the matter, and that gets a lot of eyeballs. Oh yeah, 12 thunderclouds. Luckily I passed that one. Oh well, here's 13. Take it. All right. you know, at the end of the day, however, even if it's like, that's a bad look, it's better to do something than to do nothing, you know? Ah, you tried to star me, yeah. Clever bastard. Okay, so the shock just happened, which means I could probably just do this and be fine. Third, okay. So basically, I support throwing soup at as many paintings as possible if it gets the attention of people in power. Because then 25-second cooldown on shocks? Yeah. I thought it was... Is it 30 seconds? Oh, whatever. However long it is, yeah. But even something as cringy as, like, tying yourself to a tree, like a lot of people did back in the day, or throwing soup at a painting, and cake the Mona Lisa, throwing cake at a painting. However much negative media attention that gets, all attention is good attention in this case, because that at least means that the people in power are kind of showing their ass. Yeah. Because by getting negative attention from media institutions who have the power to drive the narrative, they are saying that desecrating a work of art, you know, is worse morally than destroying the entire planet. This art is worth more than the whole world and everybody in it. And I don't think everybody in the world would appreciate that implicit argument. You know? And incredibly, throwing soup at, like, a painting is the one thing that I would say, like, one of the few acts of protest that I could say doesn't really harm working people. Like, yeah, somebody's gonna have to clean that up. That's gonna be annoying. But, you know, whatever, right? They, you know, whoever's cleaning that up gets paid to, you know, that's their job anyway. You know, even stuff like workers' strikes, which do harm working people in some sense, you know, in the short term, are good in the long term because they lead to circumstances that are less harmful to those same working people than the ones you're protesting against by going on strike. It's a sort of, what's the term? Like micro-accelerationism? Oops. Ah, damn it. Not driving that great today. Why are they going that way? I don't think that was faster. Yeah, no, it's not. What? Kind of weird. So that was a pretty significant turn of events. You know, it's definitely bold action. And I like it. However, there is a comparable example of like spectacular protest that I don't agree with, and that is the somewhat similar clip of people dumping out milk on a grocery store aisle. Now, obviously, I will say that it is probably better that they did something than nothing. But I think that's an example of, like, you know, you're not really even accomplishing the goal of getting attention on yourself. Because, you know, with a painting at the Louvre, or I think another example was like an Aston Martin storefront, those are very clearly, like, stuff that the news media will care about, like high society stuff, high profile targets for protest action, you know? Like, people will really care if you know, throw tomato soup at a famous painting. But at a grocery store, there's nothing really historically, culturally significant there. It's just a store. You know? And I think this is actually, I was kind of holding off on this because I was racing. This is where a principal difference comes up between liberals and socialists. In fact, these, you know, the people that Dr. King would have called the white moderate, because all the white moderate types, when things like this happen, will start sort of hand wringing a little bit about optics and say, "Ooh, this is a bad look. Maybe you shouldn't have done that." Where they fall into the trap of being more concerned about the optics of the action that you're taking over the, like, actual goal of the action and what it's accomplishing. You know, it's the same thing that white moderates, the white liberals, did during the civil rights protests when they, you know, condemned the, like, they sort of obsessed over the violent parts of it to say, oh, well, we condemn that, that's not good, instead of saying, why are you hyperfixating on that when there's this much bigger message? But it was a it's a big debate that actually keeps happening over and over again. We saw it with the civil rights protests. I'm sure this happened with the Vietnam protests as well. This happened with the protests of the Gulf War. This happened with the Black Lives Matter protests just recently. And now it's happening with climate activism. In fact, this is the sort of through line for all of those different protests is climate activism. Climate activists have been doing outlandish and spectacular stuff since the 1960s. You know, when that really became a popular line of political action, of protest. And the whole time, the people who weren't actually very keen on the movement in the first place have sort of said, oh, well, that's a bad look. Well, we shouldn't do that, even though it's, you know, fate of the world is at stake, guys. You know. Ah, it didn't pick Celestial Ruins. Choco Mountain, also a good track. So those are my thoughts on that. How will this race go? Will I get blown out or will I win? There is no middle ground. In before I get the middle ground that I said didn't exist. Banana. I hope whoever's behind me does not have another red shell. I'm gonna let him have first because he's got bananas. Psych! Ah, well, that wasn't a very good throw. But I got another one. Ah, he got me. Please don't kill me. Aw, oh, you dumbass. Why'd you go wide there? Oh, shit. Chaos. Oh, okay. Alright, revenge, maybe? coming up. Bullet bill? Okay, that's back there. Wow. He threw that really tight. Oh, almost. Very close. Oh, well, how about that? My lucky day. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna get second here, it seems like. Or I get... I don't know what place I got. It was really close at the end. Second, okay. But yeah, I actually had, on the just a brief final note on the soup issue. I was in another political live stream, and people were having hell arguments in chat. I was one of them, you know, arguing over whether or not it was good that somebody went out and threw soup at a painting or whatever, and made this impassioned argument against governments accelerating climate change. And I was surprised, actually, at how many people said, no, this was bad, don't do this. Because, like, I don't think they really understood what was at stake there. Like, you know, in somewhere like Britain, or somewhere like France, or the United States, the consequences of climate change might not yet be immediately obvious. But if you go to somewhere like Pakistan, where normal daily life is actively collapsing, you know? Like, we're already seeing some of the worst consequences of this beginning to unfold. The only difference is it's primarily taking place in the imperial periphery as opposed to the imperial core. So people in the imperial core, like, literally don't get it. Oh, he hit the dirt. Feels bad, man. What's up, Kree? Oh, what? That was a thing there? I didn't know that. I'm just gonna try to maintain second here. Unless... Get him. Okay, maybe not. Ah, clever bastard tried to take my box. I'm trying to outline him without getting hit by the banana. This is difficult. Ah, dang it. Alright, alright. I didn't mean to throw that back. Now I have no protection. Yeah, this is the cycle of finessing each other. Go for the right box, I'll go for this box. Ooh, triple bananas, that's nice. Well then, 2 races in a row. Same person, same fate. The blue shell strikes again. Cool. History repeats itself. That's true. I actually that quote, that is a great, like, it's a great quote, the history, like, repeating itself. But Mark Twain came up with a very interesting variation on it, is that history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. You know, where, like, the same exact thing will never happen twice, but the same circumstances will lead to very similar outcomes, like, again and again. I kind of like it. Used to think Mark Twain was a rapper? Close enough. He's a, you know, he's an author from the 19th century who focuses on political issues in some of his books. So, you know. Basically a rapper, kind of. I don't know if he did any flighting, though. Probably not, because he was an American white boy. I mean, the people who did flighting were also hella white, but they were not American. Ah. Alright, Celestial Ruins. Luigi Raceway? What? People picking the goofy tracks. Like Mushroom Peaks. That's alright. We put up with the goofy tracks. Mushroom Peaks, I like Mushroom Peaks as well, because it's a very iconic track. But it is, in fact, a goofy track. It's not like the relationship I have with the Rabbit Hole, where I really do not like that track. I just think Mushroom Peaks is not a good track, but it's fun. Like, it's the Kaizo track that everybody was like, dude, you can mod Mario Kart Wii now? This is insane. It's almost like an early testament to what you could do, and like, yeah, this is what I did with Mario Kart Wii. Like, you could just do this, which was pretty nuts. Banana. If I'm not mistaken, this way's actually faster. I'm sorry. The Wii being discontinued makes you so mad? Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh, wow. Got him. They could have made the Wii Mark II. They basically tried to do that with the Wii U, but the Wii U didn't do very well. No screens, just console and TV. Yeah. I don't know if we're really gonna get any of those anymore, you know? Did I just see that right? I think I did just see that right. Kree got the shock and smuggled it all the way up to 2nd place and then used it. That's crazy. I thought Mario Kart 8 was the only game where that happened. Oh, well then. Our friend the blue shell. He got to first, did that, and had like a whole lap lead. Yeah, that's what the shock does. That's why you can only get the shock in last. You know, it actually used to be in the N64 days, item generation was like broken. You could get shocks in like upper spots. You cannot harm me. Whew, that was quite a I had to drive really skillfully there to get first. That was kind of nuts. 10 players. Ooh. By getting shocks in first, you are increasing the gap between the wealthy and unwealthy. Literally true. That's why they made it so that I think you can only get shocks in 9th place and lower in later games. In like in the games where there's 12 people, like Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 8, and 8 Deluxe, you can get shocks in 9th place or lower. And in Mario Kart DS and 7 and Double Dash, you can only get shocks in like 7th or 8th, I want to say. And the weirdest thing in Double Dash is that if you got the Chain Chomp item, like how we have the Bullet Bill now, if you got the Chain Chomp, it didn't dodge items. Like, it would run through them, but if you got shocked, like, you lose your Chain Chomp, even if you were in the process of using it. If you hit a banana, like, if the Chain Chomp swung you out and you hit a shell or a banana, you know, that's no more Chain Chomp. So, people really did not, people really didn't like the item. So it didn't come back, and they just replaced it with the Bullet Bill. Bullet Bill supremacy. That's true. I am a firm supporter of our friend, Bullet William. That was a good attempt at our banana. Someone's got to hit that, please. Maybe not. Oh, I love the music that I have for this track. It's, Bill is short for Billiam. True. Just like Tom is short for Tomothy. Damn, look at my lead. This is the power of using the Flame Runner. Oops. Oh, why did they target shock that guy? Rat is short for Rathu. Let's, what else? Bob is short for Bobbert. Oh, Rick is short for Ditchard. Sean for Shantu, yeah. Yay! That was a nice leisurely drive through the chateau. Um, Also, another thing I wanted to talk about is not so much a specific event in politics, but more like a trend that I've noticed. Like, every time I see, like, moral panic happening, it reaffirms my notion that Freud was right. All politics is sex, and all sex is politics. Like, I can't look away now that I've seen the, like, analogy become real, because every time a conservative like says that the gays are grooming the children or whatever, every time a conservative goes off on some diatribe like that, what they are thinking about to be saying that is gay sex with children. They spend more time thinking about that than any gay person. Like, not even, just remove the part about with children, just gay sex in general. Nobody thinks about gay sex more than Republicans who are anti-gay. Like, look, I'm a queer person. I think about gay sex sometimes. Pretty cool stuff. I do not think about gay sex nearly as much as people who hate gay people. Like, Jesus Christ. Yes, they want what they can't have. And you know what? Since they're all obviously thinking about it, everybody just come out of the closet at the same time and we'll have a giant gay orgy, all consenting adults. It'll be great. And then you don't have to pretend that you hate the gays or gay sex anymore because, you know. God, it's so weird. You know? And like, yeah, and the Proud Boys are actually a really good example of this. They, let me get the race started here and then I'll explain what I mean by that. Please load Lucky 2. What if Lakitu was just like, nah, go off, King, I'll hold off the race for you. But the Proud Boys recently, like, they have a habit of going to, like, queer events, especially the Drag Time Story Hour, or Queer Person reads some stories for kids, whatever, things like that. Recently, they went to a park in it was either DC or Maryland, I think, and disrupted it, like, Drag Time Story Hour thing, and forced them to, like, take it inside with a bunch of like signs that said, like, you weren't born wrong, basically trying to like groom kids in the opposite direction of what they claim is happening, saying, like, you're not trans, being trans doesn't exist, or whatever. And, you know, seeing something like that just reaffirms, like, people who are transphobic think about trans people and people's genitalia and children's genitalia, which is the weirdest part, more than probably anybody else who, you know, is trans, is a kid, is, like, whatever. It's like the only thing on their minds, and it's very strange. But, you know, on the more funny side of this, you know, sometimes pretty sinister turn of events, is that I've actually seen some of the Proud Boy, like, training videos, or whatever, training in air quotes. You know, sometimes they'll go on these retreats and they'll sort of live action role play as, like, these brave warriors or whatever. It's super gay. Like, cause all of them are guys, right? That's why they're called the Proud Boys. But they'll, like, do some phalanx thing, and then they'll all get on the ground wrestling and whatever, and they're like, oh, this is how you do combat, haha, wink wink, and they're getting all touchy-feely with each other. And especially in the pat-downs, they were like, alright, we're gonna do a tactical pat-down so that you make sure that, yeah, that you make sure that your enemy doesn't have a weapon when you apprehend them. And this guy got really handsy. Like, for a second I was like, am I watching gay porn? You know, like, did I tune into this, like, Did I watch this, like, Proud Boys training video, and he's gonna start grabbing the other guy's junk, and then they're gonna have sex on screen or something? Because that'd be cool if they finally admitted that, like, yeah, we just want to all get together in the woods and have a big gay sex session. You know, that'd be cool. You know, because I support that. I 100% support that. Presumably they're all, like, college age or older. Nothing straighter than a man who acts gay. It's true. It's so funny to me. You know, they just can't stop thinking about gay sex. That's why they talk about the degeneracy of the gays so much. Because, like, your average gay person, you know, even the most fruity, you know, limp wrist, whatever, you know, the gay lisp or whatever, the gayest person you could picture who's open about being gay, I guarantee you does not think about gay sex as much as your average Proud Boy. And that's because they're super repressed. Yeah. Nothing gayer than a man who acts straight. It's true. It's true. Because when you're acting straight, because when a guy acts straight, they're not playing to the women. They're playing to other guys. They're trying to get the approval of other guys in the sphere of, like, go get him, bro. You got this, bro. Go get laid, bro. You know, you're looking for the sexual approval of guys when you act straight. You know, when you put on the tough guy act, you're trying to... Yeah. You know, maybe not consciously, but that's the like subconscious implication of that behavior. You're courting a guy to show them how manly you are. Because realistically, if you are trying to court a woman and be an old-fashioned gentleman, whatever, blah, 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 I don't think women really think about that anymore. In the, like the machismo and the big muscles and the, like, obviously being physically fit helps. You know, and that's pretty conventionally attractive. But what women tend to be more attracted to, or like, I say women, people in general, tend to be more attracted to is, like, self-confidence and things like that. Like, personality traits that make you desirable to be around, to like, have as a friend, legit. Yeah, muscle mommies. Yeah, it's like, it's a slight to their, it's like a slight to their perceived manhood or whatever. And, like, leaning into that really hard is like, I don't know. Kind of rambling, just making fun of the Proud Boys for being gay, which is not, I mean, look, some people might get mad at me for that. I see it as just, like, a part of edgy humor that I really enjoy, that, like, you know, you claim to hate gay people, however, you do think about gay sex a lot. You know, you have to be thinking about gay people to hate gay people. You know? A mushroom. For me, you shouldn't have. Oh, what happened to that guy? I feel bad. Okay. Incoming. Nice. I did the shortcut thing. Wait, this is a 3-lap track? Damn. I thought for sure, like, 2 laps. But, you know, it's whatever. I've become a lot more comfortable with, like, you know, because obviously growing up in the early 2000s, gay rights and whatever were, like, becoming part of the discourse more heavily. Oh, somebody dodged me. Thanks to whoever that was. You know, but it still wasn't like really there. It wasn't really ubiquitously accepted if you were gay or whatever. At least not in the sense that it really has become now. So like I fell into a lot of the like straight guy tropes and stuff, and now it's like, you know, it's nice that I'm sure I still fall into quite a few of them, but like not nearly as many. Oh, I get the draft last second. Let's go. I win. Yeah, I think that's, you know what? That's what this, like, I'm gonna, using a little bit of, like, gender chauvinistic rhetoric, that's what separates the boys from the men. Because, like, the boys, the boys, TM, are insecure. Whereas, like, somebody who's, unironically, in my brain, the, like, platonic ideal of a man is somebody who's comfortable. Yes, real. Yes, but like condensed into a single phrase, real men are feminine. You know, only boys feel like they have to do all this masculine bullshit. Like, no. You know, every guy is a little bit feminine. Even just like, you want a man wife? True. Femboy wife. They actually opened up. Did you see they opened up a femboy Hooters recently? Like, really, it was such a meme, and people actually started demanding it, and so Hooters opened up a femboy Hooters, where instead of all the waiters having like big booba, they're all femboys. Yeah, let me look up where it is. Femboy Hooters. No, not the Know Your Meme. Fucking opens first Femboy Hooters in Buffalo, New York. Okay. So unfortunately, it's not particularly close to either of us. Get in. We're going to the Femboy Hooters. It's like the fucking Scott the Woz, like in the car. I'm dead. Okay, well, I got a lot of catching up to do here. What? I got such a bad angle on that. Alright. What? Am I doing this wrong? I gotta be doing this wrong. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think it's because I'm so used to the mock bike that I have just a little bit less weight, and then now that I have more weight, it's like throwing me off. That's probably it. What's up, Diddy Kong? Okay, well that still works. So that's good. What? I didn't even know that could happen with that trick. Governor, you don't know from where. What do they do? Oh, yeah. He's a. I don't think it was a. Maybe he is a governor, but he was a candidate for Senate, I think. And to show that he's pro sex work, he actually made a sex tape. And I was like, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's gonna fall off. Okay, thank you. How do I keep messing that up? I don't get it. Oh, okay, well. You refer to all politicians as governors? Fair, honestly. I'm gonna hella lose this race because it's been so long since I've played Peaks on Flame Runner. Hello, Diddy Kong. Now I know that you are going to try to pass that to me, because I'm the only person close enough. Yeah. Valiant attempt, but... Oh, no, I was going to use that for the shortcut up there. Please give me mushrooms? No, a blue shell, a dude. How am I in 6th now? What? Weird, but better than last lap. How did that red shell follow me? Hello? The red shells are evolving. They're getting smarter. Now I know I could, but I'm not going to. Just gonna do this again. Or I could just fall off again. Oh, at least it puts me here. That's good. Barely made that. A blooper? Best item. Let's go. Bro. What's that, 14? I think that brings the count up to 14 thunderclouds. Okay. Watching everybody's Miis fall is so funny. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Alright, there we go. I'm big now. That's good. Oh, that was like the perfect wall trick. Nobody's gaining time on me there. 3rd place, I'm pretty sure. Yay! Sorry, that green shell's a little bit mean. I don't mean to fuck anybody up, I just felt like getting rid of it. Oh man. That has to be close to 30-second ruling, people. Yeah, okay, the last 2 people got 30-second ruled. 10 players. Yay. Yeah. God, sex discourse is so much fun, because everybody's like... Every conservative is like... You know that every single person who's like abstinence only, whatever, conservative, anti-gay sex, they're a freak in bed. But they can't, they can't admit it or whatever. But what's less fun than that is what else I've been seeing on Twitter. Actually, just today, which is that Europeans are fucking racist. I mean, like, obviously racism in Europe is a lot different than racism in the United States. You know, it's more based on ethnicity than in the United States, where it's just skin color. Like, an American would look at Europe and see any person from the Balkans, and them having like relatively similar skin tones we'd be like, yeah, what, you're both brown, or you're both white, or whatever. But Europeans are not like that. They see things differently. I somehow made that work. I'm 100% certain that's not how you're supposed to do that shortcut. For example, in Europe, there is tons of racism in the Balkans against other people who are from the Balkans. You know, Serbs hate Croats, Croats hate Serbs, and, I mean, Serbs hate everybody. But, they all hate the Greeks hate them back, and, the Greeks hate the Turks, and fucking, there's no shortage of, like, racism with a very ultra-nationalist flavor or twinge to it. But there is actually one group in Europe that gets it, like, almost, like, uncontestedly worse than everybody else. And that is the Roma. The Roma in Europe are what anthropologists would call a non-state people. You know? In more colloquial speak, they're nomadic, which means they don't have like a set homeland, or whatever that they live in. They travel. They are, I mean, nomadic. That's the word that people understand that as. And they get shit on so extensively in Europe for, like, basically every racial epithet in the United States about black people or about immigrants, and like they're gonna steal your stuff and they're degenerates and they're culturally worse than us. Racists in Europe broadly apply that to the Roma. And it's, it's not good. But yeah, apparently, like, somebody, oh, let's see. What was it that was happening? Some shit got started on Twitter that I... kind of falling apart in my head now, but... the most concerning part of it for me, though, was, like, the rhetoric that was used towards Roma is basically what the Nazis used. What the Nazis said. Because, a lot of people sometimes internally gloss over, that the Holocaust was a genocide of Jewish people, but also of other groups. For example, gay people, Slavic people, and Roma people. They were, they're basically a historical ethnic minority in basically all of Europe. It's just kind of like sucks to see that really Europeans didn't learn shit from World War II about that. I don't think that's faster. I think you're supposed to go the other way. Went through concentration camps in North Korea recently. North Korea has had concentration camps for, like, forever. But yeah, I'm sure there were. North Korea is a totalitarian dictatorship, so, that would stand to reason that they had stuff like that. Oh no, I hit the grass a little bit. Yeah, North Korea is some kind of fucked up. But what's unfortunate is, like, as of, in terms of the near future, I don't see any realistic possibility of it not being that way. Because, the deal with North Korea is that they are a buffer state for China. The same way that South Korea kind of is for the United States. If it weren't for North Korea, basically, the American allies would be, like, right on China's border, which to an extent is already true with Taiwan, but that, sea border is not the same as a land border. Oh, well, I went over the fence. So China has a vested interest in maintaining the awful status quo in North Korea. And the United States has a comparably a vested interest in maintaining the less awful status quo, but still not great status quo in South Korea. No, I barely didn't make it. Okay. Bro. I'm getting blown out this race. I really don't like this track either, but I don't think it's as bad of a track as Rabbit Hole. It's just like, it's just, with this one, it's less like, I know how to race it, but it's a bad track, so I don't like it. It's more of a, it's a fine track, but I don't know how to race it, so I don't like it. It's like, the dislike in my brain for this track is not as active or disdainful as the dislike that I have for, like, the Rabbit Hole. You know? I'm sure if I learned how to race that track, if I learned how to do the shortcuts and stuff, I would enjoy that track a lot more. Whereas with the Rabbit Hole, it was like... I keep coming back to that. Rabbit Hole lives rent-free in my head, I guess. Here, hold on. Let me search Twitter for Romani. Okie dokie. Yeah, people. Oh yeah. It was somebody posted a tweet about how, like, yeah, Europeans are racist because they don't like Romanis, which is true. Like, if you don't like the Roma, that is racism because you are proclaiming your dislike for an entire ethnic group of people. And they posted a picture of what's his name, the bad guy from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Roma Tomato, true. They like the bad guy from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Because he's anti-Roma as well, like in the movie. But then like somebody quote tweeted that. It was like, "Oh, I'm just offering valid criticism, and you Americans who have never seen a Roma person in your life are defending them." You know, it's because you know, definitely not racist when you insist when you like double down on the. Well, okay. Of an entire ethnic group, right? Oh boy. 15. Oh boy. Oogie boogie. Oh yeah, but they didn't use Roma, they used the G word. Oh no, I can't get an item box. Hello, Cree Cree. People don't know about this shortcut still. You think it's racist to dislike your own race? Yes. That's still definitionally racist, even if it's like self-deprecating. If I proclaimed my dislike for white people as a race, like unironically, I'll joke about like white people would be like, but, you know, obviously that's a joke. There's plenty of white people whose, you know, political beliefs align with mine, and I don't think there's anything inherently about white people that, like, makes them inferior or whatever. That's still racist, though, if you were to say something like that. And to use an example, Candace Owens is racist. Candace Owens is black, but spends a lot of the airtime that she has, because she's affiliated with, what is it called, Turning Point USA. She spends a lot of the time that she has using culture war rhetoric to impugn the black community. You know, and we would have no reservations about calling that racist. For very obvious reasons. It's just that for some reason people like sort of mince definitions when it comes to the racial group that holds a disproportionate amount of power. At least it's only lap 2 here. I actually have a real shot to like come back this race, which would be cool. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this again. I'm surprised that there's still a lot of people that don't know about this shortcut. It's kind of interesting. Hopefully somebody doesn't have the shock. I'm going to try to get past the part with the boost panels, and then I'll use the bullet bill. You know, like where the big mushroom is. There we go. This is where I want to use it, because this is where I will gain a lot of time. See, look at that. I'm right back with the pack. However, to add a caveat to what I was saying about like racism against your own race, to, you know, in particular with the case of like racism against white people, that applies to like interpersonal racism and stuff. It's not equivalent to a black person being racist against black people, because the weight of institutions in this country and in, you know, in a couple other countries are still weighted against black people. Like, the racism against white people is not a meaningful problem in the U.S. because American institutions are biased in favor of white people, you know. But race, you know, and obviously racism against black people is a problem because institutions are weighted against them. But that's not to say it doesn't exist. Ooh, bullet bill. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Very frequently the way that, like, the way that people engage in, like, racism against their own racial group manifests is you could see potentially, like, Hispanic people or black people being members of the Proud Boys, which is an overtly white supremacist group. That's one way that it can happen. You could also see white people who do a lot of apologia for the very, very fringe movement of black separatists in the United States. Basically, like, Blitler. White people who agree with Blitler are racist against white people. And that's so much more niche than, for example, a than if a black person or a Hispanic person or even, you know, or an Asian person were a member of the Proud Boys, because the Proud Boys is overtly in favor of white supremacy and white hegemony over these other racial groups. Yeah. Yay, Celestial Ruins finally got picked. But yeah, racism is bad. Doesn't matter what racial or ethnic group it's against, it's bad. You know? And for all the Europeans out there, that includes Roma people. Alright? You're not gonna pull anything on us by saying, oh, but they're different. We've heard that shit before. You know? We've heard that shit with, like... yeah. We've heard that shit with Muslims in America. We've heard that shit with immigrants in America. Like, we don't buy it. Yeah, I know. New information. Oh. Blooper, best item. Let's go. I am so glad I didn't get starred by that. I like avoided that fake item. Oh, well, there I go. Yes, we have solved racism. It is bad. Yeah. Of course, solving racism is really complicated. Right? But yeah. Fortnite dances. True, we must celebrate. Am I in last? I got the shock. I'm just gonna chain it, probably. You know what? Actually, Cree, I see you right here. I'm gonna get you before the box is here. Oh no, I'm sorry. I've... Jeez. Well then. Yeah. I'm gonna try to smuggle this bullet bill up to somewhere. Probably here is as good a place as any to use it. We will create new problems. True. It's like that one, the little video clip of I think it was like an African chieftain or something. Like, I don't want peace. I want problems, always. That's me right now. Oops, the shock happened again. Wham. Nice. They both got hit by that? Interesting. I'm now in first. Please don't give me a fake item. Thank goodness. I'm just gonna hold this. He's gonna have something, for sure. I don't know what he has, but he has something. Okay. Or maybe he didn't have anything. He just, like, held it. Yay. Second place. Paradoxically, solving racism involves actually quite a bit of race-blind policymaking. You know, because a lot of racism, a lot of modern racism, as much as it is still a product of, like, centuries-old overt racial bias, a lot of it now is codified in legal language that never mentions race. You know, like, yeah. Yeah, he uses fear tactics on me, and it worked. I was, in fact, afraid. An early example of colorblind racism was the grandfather clause in the Jim Crow era of the United States. I haven't done Mushroom Bridge yet. In the Jim Crow era of the United States, there were certain laws to prevent black people from voting that were known as grandfather clauses that stated that in order to vote, your grandfather had to be eligible to vote. And this was meant to permanently disenfranchise the black population. Because imagine you're a free black person in, let's say, the 1910s. Your grandfather would have likely been a slave, you know? And so as a result of that, now you can't vote. And if that law stayed in place, your grandkids would not be able to vote because their grandfather wouldn't have been able to vote. Unless, you know, and of course there is also the possibility that, like, you have two granddads and, like, maybe one of them could vote. But, you know, it's a very, like, very effective way to maintain racial prejudice while technically abolishing it or, like, writing it out of the law. But fortunately, laws like that were found to be unconstitutional, so they were all stricken from the books. Another more prominent example is the drug war, by criminalizing hard substances, because that is usually a consequence of poverty, drugs and whatnot. And black people in the United States, because of slavery and the Jim Crow era, are disproportionately poor. In fact, there was a Nixon administration person. It was either it was a person from Nixon's administration back in the 1960s or like early 70s that said, "You're gonna join in with me for the last 30 minutes? Oh, have fun." You know, in the heat of the Vietnam War happening, he said, "We knew we couldn't criminalize being against the war or being black, but if we could criminalize drugs and associate that with the you know, associate that with the people protesting. Oh, you've never played custom tracks? It's all right. I'll try to select retro tracks because they've been, you know, in other Mario Kart games. You know, by criminalizing drugs, which are usually done in black communities because those communities are poor as a result of slavery, and done by the hippies, you know, hippie protesters smoke a lot of weed, then you effectively shut down progressive black American social movements. You disrupt the black community, and you disrupt the anti-war sentiment. In fact, I'll try to find the actual quote. Here we go. Drug war confessional. You want to know what the war on drugs was really about? This is a quote from somebody. The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies. The anti-war left and black people. You understand what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know that we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. Pretty plainly laid it out. And this logic is still used in... this logic is still present in all of the, like, drug war era criminalizations of hard drugs, or even just less harmful stuff like marijuana. Which is why, actually, I have the political position that I think it's good to decriminalize all drugs. You know, partly because of this. Because that's the reason that drugs were criminalized in the first place. Is because of racism. But in all of those laws, they never mentioned race once, and that, you know, these laws were not exclusively used to arrest black people and anti-war people. There are poor white people who were not, you know, anti-war, who have been arrested for drug offenses. But yeah, you know, that's just collateral damage to the real objective there. Oh boy. This track I have a storied history with. The first couple of times I played this track on stream, I got blown out really hard. And then I think the third time, I like got my revenge. Ah, okay. You need something other than revolving green shell. Oh, that's cool. Okay, not quite. Oops. Big spiral turn. This guy knows what he's doing on this track more than I do, I think. So I'm just gonna hang back in second. What's he doing here? Let me try that. Okay. That's not too bad. I'm gonna lay this back and throw this forward. Yeah, okay. Hey, there we go. Now I'm on the shortcut route. Ooh, that was a really clever spot for that fake item box. If he did that on purpose, kudos to you. E.I. Tony. Actually, no, that's T-S-N-Y, because that's not an O. That's a lowercase s, I think. Or whatever the sigma letter means in Greek. Good attempt. Oops. I think that was his banana. He got me. Yeah, I got it. This track is fun. Oh no, it got me just as I was like going through the box. I tried to like go wide so that I would get to the boxes a little bit later. But I guess it was not meant to be. And now I'm in first without an item. Which could be very bad indeed. Okay. Ah. That was close. That was a good race. Wow! Oh, holy crap! Okay, there was the three of us up there, and then everybody else was like way behind. What happened there? Oh my goodness! All right. Oh my god! You got knocked off onto another plane and just stayed there? You didn't know where to go? I didn't even know that could happen. Is that MZ is you, I assume? You're out of bounds but not dead, so you just chilled on another planet. Understandable. Ah, classic. Figure 8 circuit. Whew. Ah. You figured it out at the end and you did like the map? That's good. That's great, even. Somebody made a comic with like the flags. It's like UN in America. America says anti-Roma racism is kind of cringe. The EU fucking bursts through the wall. Ignorant American says an ethnic slur. Like goddamn. What's going on, Tony? Oh, you almost got me. Hmm. Yeah, okay, well. What is going on? This is surprisingly a chaotic race for this very comparatively quaint track. I want to make sure I always have something behind me. That'd be good, I think. You're not supposed to trick on that. Ah, good attempt with that fake item. Good attempt with that green shell, too. My only hope here is basically a blue shell comes. Oh, well, blue shell did come. How about that? Ah. Give me this item, please. Thank you. We're just gonna hold this red shell, or green shell, excuse me. Ah, thank you for the mushroom, whoever dropped those. I'm gonna flip my hair mid-race. Yay. That's like what Dry Browser does. He just raise the roof. Oh man. Yeah. Unironically, the you know, when it comes to discourse about the Romanis and stuff, and like the Balkans, confuses you when you see a Dry Bowser and not a Pokemon. Yeah, he still sounds like Dry Bowser though, which is funny. Unironically, one of the reasons I'm glad I'm American, like one of the things that makes me glad to be an American sometimes is when discourse about like ethnic minorities in Europe happens and like Balkan people or you know the Romani people, the American response is like whatever, racism is bad. You know, and then the Europeans get all rabid and stuff about the Roma and whatever. And to us, it's like everybody in the Balkans looks the same to us, which, granted, is its own kind of racism, because, like, obviously there's cultural divides there, and each one of them has their own distinct history and all that. But I think that's far preferable to the racism where you're literally committing genocides against each other every couple of years. It's like, have we had a genocide this year? No, I don't think we have. Attack that country. Overall, everything is racist? Yeah. It's just a function of human brain that we do tribalism and stuff, and sometimes that manifests along racial lines. You know. Just gonna... Okay, he has a green shell. Cool. Dude, this guy's on the super blooper? Holy shit. What a Chad. What an absolute champion. Champion of the game. Ah, oh, not quite. I was like, hey, what if I get him with this sick bank shot? But I didn't. Yeah, okay. Oh. Oh, wow, they really got him with that POW. Also, for whatever reason, after I installed all the, like, character skin mods, the, like... KMH thing at the bottom of the screen disappeared. It still displays the number, but it doesn't display the, like, kilometers per hour. It's kind of odd. Dang, we both got wheelie bumped. Get him. Or not. This track is crazy. Go, Yoshi, go. Get his ass. For a second I thought that like the bomb would get everybody at the end of the conveyor there, but it was not so. What's up? I have a star. I'm gonna chain it at the next set. If you have the shock, use it. Alright. Teaming. Teaming! Oh my god, I got another star. I'm gonna chain this one too. I got another star. I'm gonna chain this one. No, I failed the chain. Oh well. Give me item. I got a mushroom. Alright, King Boo, you can have first. That's fine. Or second, I guess. Oh wait, never mind. He got first and I got second. Dude, that Diddy Kong on the Super Blooper is an absolute chad. Holy hell. What a champion. You got stuck in the loop thing? Oh no! That sucks. You went backwards and got stuck? That sucks so much. That's like the most confusing part of that track. Negative 10 out of 10. True, would not do again. Worst map. Yeah, there's no, like, one of the things about that map, there's no shortcuts. It's just road. There's no, like, oh hey, go over here, secret extra route. And there's no, like, optional other route. What would be nice is if there was, like, an optional slower, or, like, same speed route where you don't have to take the loop. It was like, now you could go in the loop and potentially fuck yourself. Or you could not, and it'd be, like, the same speed. But, I don't know, maybe this route's a little bit less, I don't know, less spicy. But no. Mandatory loop activated. Your ROM is now in a permanent loop that cannot be exited. Broken pier. Oh man, this is the other GBA like ghost track. The spice is not always nice. It's true. I had Tex-Mex for lunch, and I can I can confirm this. All right, here we go. Fly mine first. I guess you're supposed to do that? I don't know. Oh, somebody's got mushrooms. That was smart. Just try and take it as far as he could. Do I dare take a shortcut? I don't know if I do. Will this even work with one mushroom? It will not. I have to have two at least. Okay. I have learned. Ooh, clever banana spots. I think they really got him. Maybe not? I don't know. Oh, what? I didn't even know that red shell was coming, and then it just hit me. Anyway, that guy's got first by like a mile. Or maybe not, because he got blue shelled. Back in it. I don't have an item though. That's unfortunate. That box. Let me take this one. I don't even know where to use this. Probably like here. Oh, well, okay. Nice. I guess I won. I guess I win. I won the race. (9-minute) time for 2 races. Probably 2 races. DJ Coolmaster, welcome to the stream. Hi, is that a fucking... Okay. For a second I was like, is that a fucking Kamala Harris emoji in my Twitch chat? You've never been fucked in the ass so badly in a race? Damn. And you got plus 12 for it? That's hype. So I was gonna say, I will gladly put up with Joe Biden emotes in my chat. But Kamala Harris? Nuh-uh. There I go making Mario Kart Wii political again. How could the left do this? Or something. I don't know. Get politician emotes when you hit affiliated? Yeah, dude. I'm gonna get like a Joe Biden eating the ice cream emote, or like him with the laser eyes. It's gonna be great. Ah, it's okay. Swearing is allowed. It's all good. DJ Coolmaster, I think you missed the earlier part of the stream where I was talking about how conservatives who hate gay people literally cannot stop thinking about gay sex. Like, I'm a queer person, and I think about gay sex less than your average conservative that hates gay people. Getty Bernie emote in his chair, arms folded. I should do that. I used that for a YouTube thumbnail, and I thought it was super funny. I need to get that as an emote. Once I hit affiliate, I'll have like sub emotes or whatever. It's like we got Bernie, we got Biden, we got Trump, we got whoever. And the reason I would include Trump is just because he has a personality. It is a very toxic personality, but it exists. You're straight, but you think about gay sex 2 times a month? Very healthy mindset. And I say, like, I know that sounds like a joke, but unironically, that's a good thing to have, like, occasionally on your mind. You know, because as, like, sexuality and, like, gender is much more of a continuum than people typically think it is. You know. Oh, jeez. Sorry, Yoshi. I didn't mean to, like, bump you there. I hope, okay, I was gonna say, I hope that's triple greens and not triple red shells, because that'd be really bad if it was triple red shells. He's got a red shell behind him, he has to spend that to, yeah. Oh, I got him! Ha ha ha! Situational awareness. Sorry, I'm concentrating. This track is, you're playing an indie political sim game called Political Process. Playing in Knoxville, Tennessee, managed to win a right-leaning state House seat by 3%? 0.3%? Wow. That's a close race. Take it. I don't want it. Am I gonna win? No. I'm gonna get second or third. Have I played any political? I mean, I guess I've played the iCivics Win the White House game. Okay, third. I've played Win the White House by iCivics on you know, usually the preferred platform for that is like mobile. And I've heard of and seen videos of Democracy 4 is a like political sim game by Paradox Interactive. But I don't play that many political sim games. For how involved I am in politics, I don't do that much of that. Or I guess involved. For how much I read and consume politics and talk about politics. It's a lot more detailed by Democracy, or than Democracy. I didn't mean to do that. Well, okay, I speak. Your favorite political game is Goat Simulator? Best political game of all time. I have not played that one. I have seen it though. Best game, best political game. Never before has there been such a convincing argument for Goat 2024. Honestly, criminal how good the argument is for Goat for president. Slot circuit. Oh, wow. This track used to be really not good. I think it's better now. Still looks mostly the same, but you know. Oh wait, I'm in first? I guess a couple of people left. This will be the last race, by the way, as well. You play any state or county. Interesting. As low as school board, survive primary and general elections. That's cool. That sounds like a very comprehensive political sim. I'm not gonna do the super risky shortcut there. Speaking of local elections, those are happening pretty soon. In my state as well as I think most other states. I've already voted because I'm on the permanent absentee registry. Like I'll every election cycle, actually every year, I'll get a ballot in the mail to vote, just automatically, which is very cool. But I did vote for I think county board. I don't think the school board elections were this year. Actually, maybe they were. I got to vote for some like local board members, which was cool. What state am I from? Virginia. Oh, okay. Feel bad for that Yoshi a little bit. purple greens. Interesting. Ooh, that was a really good green shell from Yoshi there. Yeah. In fact, part of the reason for why I'm so like politically minded is because of where I live. I sort of lucked into the circumstance of being born, raised, and living in an area right outside of DC. So like a lot of people here are like politically in the know more than most because it's like a it's kind of a city, but also it's like very proximal to where all the politics happens, like the big politics. Um, so that's cool. Pretty establishment area. Yeah, unfortunately. Although you'd be surprised, there's a significant presence of like socialist orgs around where I live. Of course, I'd rather be in the company of like the establishment left in terms of like political decision making. I'd much rather be in the company of the establishment left, good games, than the right in any capacity. But at the same time, it does sort of it does lead to political debates still, just different kinds of political debates. Um, yeah, and it also is. I don't know. It's kind of politically speaking, things are kind of uneventful in this part of the state because establishment left been running the place for quite a while, and so as far as quality of life goes, things are pretty good around where I live. Good schools, good healthcare facilities, police that don't immediately shoot a black person when they see them. Um, but there's always stuff to be improved upon, and I think the nicest thing about that is that a lot of times, even on the establishment left, there isn't the same stigma against the more progressive left that there is on the right. As much as the institution of the Democratic Party clamps down on progressives, your average liberal is obviously very much more open to socialist ideas than your average conservative would be. Um, but that's my little ending diatribe there, if you will. I'm glad that people turned out to watch this stream. Thank you very much for watching. I will be back 2 days from now on Wednesday, same time, 1:30 to 3:30 thereabouts. Most likely with Mario Kart again because this game is fun. I had a lot of fun this time. Hopefully, I'll have as much fun next time. Hopefully, I'll find some more gay sex to talk about. See you then.